We have finally made it to 3Q on Pandanet. So we will have to see if there's a giant jump in level here, because something I've heard a few times is that OGS and Pandanet seem to be similar for a lot of people. Not everyone, but for a lot of people. So around 3Q is when OGS starts to get a little bit annoying, I'm going to call it. We'll see if it's the same here on Pandanet. So let's get a game in here, and let's see if we win our first game at 3Q. All right, we got a game, and I am black. I'm still feeling very territorial, so I'm going to continue on with this type of opening for now. Double 3-4 points. It doesn't necessarily make the game easy or hard or anything. It's just a personal preference, right? If you want to play a certain way, play that certain way. Oh, they're going to split. When it comes to splitting, I like to just enclose my corner. I don't want to go all the way over to them. I'm just enclosing my corner, making sure it's all good. Their 2-space extension is going to be fine, but now it allows me to approach on the bottom side because I have this corner that needs an extension. If they want to stop my extension, I'm okay with taking another corner. And if they don't care about that, I could take my extension, or what I prefer to do is just finish the corner joseki. So I'm going to attach here and hane and see if they just play the standard joseki or not. I'll connect. And yep, just connecting up everywhere. Oh, they went into the corner. I probably should actually push up, which is sort of the standard move, but I'm going to play the move that I like more, which is just this jump, because the other joseki is just kind of annoying to deal with. So if it's something that's annoying, it's best to just avoid it. Now, if you're trying to learn it, that's different, but if you're just trying to play, best to avoid. The most common move now is probably just a sort of enclosure on the top side, but they decide they want to go into my corner a little bit. I really don't mind answering. Can answer in a lot of different ways. Can answer this way too, I think. I think normally I would answer just to defend the corner, but in this case, I'm going to answer in a way that makes sure they can't connect to the outside. So I'm going to do this diagonal move. If they attach in the corner, I can then clamp, which allows me to connect on both sides. Since they're doing this one, I'm just going to extend here. If they connect, that means they're heavy, and we can get rid of their base here with just this simple extension on the bottom side. What they should have done was probably hane into the corner and then taken a base. It's not a perfectly strong situation, but it is a more flexible situation, which is what they should be doing when you're in your opponent's area. You should be as flexible as you can. This is still good, though. I like that they capped here, and I like that they're trying to get a little bit of strength here as well. They're going to borrow strength from my strong group. So I will hane and protect my cutting point. It's also right next to white, and they're sliding, which isn't threatening my group. It's just points and just strength for their group. That's fine, but my group's alive, and their group's not alive. So we will go for a little bit of a surround type of idea. It's not going to surround them completely, but we want to sort of push them in a direction. We don't need to separate them from the corner, for example. So we could just keep pushing them this way, or we could leave it for now. If they go to cut this off, I think it's a little bit difficult for them to handle because they're still weak. So if they get strong, I'm going to connect this stone up. So for now, I'm just going to go back and play a big move somewhere else. Because the middle is not too important, I'm going to break up the left side of the board. Instead of approaching on the top, which would normally be for building my own points, approaching here is going to be more for like a territorial expansion idea. I don't want to jump out. I want to always take the corner whenever they pincer, especially the tight pincer. I'm always okay with that. We're just going to do that one. Normal hane and connect. They need to answer. Now they do have stuff on the left side now, but if they have a weak group that's jumping towards that left side, that doesn't really feel like a good thing for them. I have to answer that because otherwise they can push and cut, so I don't want to let that happen. And yeah, as I said, it's not that good of an idea because as I said, they have this weak group that's facing their influence. So all I have to do is jump from here, which is threatening the weak group. They jump. I can even jump again, or I could even go for like a shoulder hit type of idea right now, because now it's going to be even harder because I have somewhere I can run to. So let's do the shoulder hit. Yeah, it's hard to build a large area when you have a weak group. I think it's best to go for territory when you have weak groups on the board, when you already have them on the board. Like if it happens later, that's something else you have to just fix as time goes on. But at this particular point, you shouldn't worry too much about it. Okay, we will be jumping. We don't want to be too heavy in their area, so we're going to play the light move to jump away as quickly as possible. But in this case, since they're turning, I actually will extend because this is a nice shape for me. Normally I wouldn't, but since they are okay with giving me a really nice shape, then I don't really mind here. So we're going to apply a little bit of pressure. This one's threatening to attach here. And this is also going to be a stone that's going to help my center group. My center group's already strong, though, because of the way they played. So I just want to play in a way that strengthens it and attacks at the same time. Oh, they're going to do this one. Kind of interesting. So they're threatening to push and cut us. So we just want to defend our push and cut. We can actually do with this knight's move. That's actually kind of funny here. They push and cut. We just ladder it to our other stones. We do the diagonal. We do the jump here. But the jump leaves us with this elephant eye. So we want to play the move that leaves us with the least amount of shape problems. So maybe we'll do this one. This one feels like a nice amount of connected shape because if they push and cut, we can ladder it off or just give up our one stone that's not too important anymore. And then we'll be very clean shape throughout the board. All right, we are 100% going to connect that. I'm not going to let them get in there. Yep, just keep our stones connected. We're very, very strong. This is making us even stronger. So I'm not exactly sure what they're going for. They could Hane and then they are able to cut us in some way, but it doesn't seem like a good idea. But for now, we'll stay connected. Make sure there's no problems on our end, and then we won't have to worry about it the rest of the game. Because I do think that we have a decent amount of corner points, and then they only really have the left side. I feel pretty good about that overall. And so they're playing, this is a big move. This is like an appropriate move right now. Get rid of my points on the top. My corner is 100% alive, so I'm going to threaten to either connect up or cut right now. And that gives me a little bit more on the top side. It's kind of interesting. I think we could cut if we wanted to, but I'm just going to jump up here for now. And that way we're really threatening the cut now. They really, really want to respond to us. And if they don't, then I guess we'll cut. But this is protecting our invasion point up here to make sure they can't do anything. Okay, there we go. They protected it in some way. And now I kind of want to just make this group as flat as I can. So pushing and the jump is like a normal way to do it. We could lean on it in some way as well. I think I like this lean idea. It's sort of like how you'd normally do it. You lean on the far end here to get some strength in the center. I don't think it matters too much in this particular game, but I think this is still okay for us to do. I don't want to do anything too fancy and have an issue, right? Like this move is not too fancy because we're strong, but feels a little fancy at the same time. So like jumping's fine. This move is like trying to get more. So we'll just jump again. This jump is threatening to build a couple points in the center. And that's all we're going for. I'm going to maintain my center connection and my potential points. Because if we just get this, for example, this is at least like a good 10 points. So I feel pretty good about that. I will block here. I don't want them to jump into the corner. Yep, Hane is a good move. And I'm going to play the move that gives me the most eye shape. I think I'm fine with my connection everywhere, but I want to make sure. All right, we'll extend. We'll just take these points real quick. If they push again, we can cut if they Hane. So I'm not going to answer any more pushes. And so we're just going to work on just big moves here now. Like this block over here is really big. Something over here is really big. So I'm gonna poke at their shape a little bit. Leave an answer this way. Yep, I will connect. And then we'll play the next big move here because the center is not too important. I just want to get these side moves in whenever I can. The corner is already alive, but we still don't want them to cut through here because then they may be able to Atari somewhere else. So yeah, we just connect and we're good to go. That's not a Sente move either. It's getting rid of some of their endgame. So I'll play this. They got 1 point in exchange for getting rid of some potential endgame over here. So I think that's a good exchange for me overall. We can probably just keep pushing. Make sure we keep our points on the top. So there is still a little bit of Aji with this area, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. Instead, I'm just going to play some big endgame thing here and not worry too much. And this group's also not alive, but we'll play this big move first. Big moves first. That is a Sente move. I will respond. The Atari doesn't matter too much because I have enough liberties in the corner. Yep, I might as well respond to this one too. Make sure they can't push through that. They didn't need to do it that way, but I guess it's maybe better than just blocking directly. So another really big move here where they could jump in and try to do some big monkey jump type stuff. But we also have this Hane, which is just absolutely huge because they can't respond properly. We actually can still connect up over here. Maybe we do this one and connect up because the middle doesn't matter anymore now. Because normally you wouldn't want to. But in this case, it kind of feels like we could. Yeah, we can do it. So let's do this one first. This one feels maybe a little bit bigger than the monkey jump if we get to connect under. And his group's, I said his group's not really alive, but it's going to be hard to kill it anyway. So I think it's better just to keep it more simple. My group in the center is fine. My group on top's fine. So just taking the points is a good idea. We can just cut here. And if they Atari, we just connect underneath because this Panuki is not worth 30 points anymore. Yep. If they could have gotten those diagonals, that would have been very, very large. So I'm very happy they did not. They still have a really big move here, but it's just the one big move, so it's fine. Yeah, we can Atari here. And we can Atari again, because why not? And then if we do this one, there's still the peep, but the peep doesn't do anything. And this actually hurts their eye shape more. So we'll play the eye shape hurting move. So now you can see that this is why they're not necessarily alive, because if we turn here, this is why they shouldn't have probably pushed through. If we turn here, if we push one more time, we can cut. So I don't want to let that happen. And if we turn here, they don't have 2 eyes anymore, and so they need to go back and live. We will answer that one first, of course. Yes, I would say they can live, so they just need to go back and do it. All right, that's good. That's very good. We can go back to our really big in-game move over here. I guess we could peep as well, but there's no reason to peep, so it's big in-game. And you see what happened in this game. They played a little bit too slow. Then I got all of the big in-game moves as well. I got the Hane over here and got to push into the corner. I got to block here. I got to play over here. And I got to play this one on the bottom. And I got to connect up on top. Like I got every single big in-game move. So even if the game was close before, it's no longer close because they were focused too much on this sort of center area. And now the center is basically the only thing that's left. I think my group is still very solid here. So we can just make sure that this is points before they jump in. So they got some points in the center. I got some points in the center. Good for both. Seems good. I'll just be small end game from here and nothing too exciting happening. Yeah, I'll connect because even though I don't really gain any points from the connection, not really. It's like a Ko shape with an Atari. It's kind of annoying. So whenever it's an annoying looking shape for me, I always make sure that I am fixing it. Like this one here, I want to make sure we're all connected without any problems at all. So I'm playing the move that I know is connecting everything up. And he's playing the move that he knows is getting stuff. So that's nice. I think he did a good job there. This is not normally the right type of move, but we'll just answer here. He has to go back and make sure that his group is all good. Yeah, because here the problem is that we have the Atari and we can even squeeze this. So it's not a very nice situation for white. But it's all very small moves now. So, and do I want to squeeze here? I'm gonna not. It is worth it. It is worth it. I'll do it. I was gonna not do it, but it's really big to do it this way. So that is what I will do. It's fixing my shape a little bit, and it's also making it a little bit harder for them as well. Because when I push in here, they have even more annoying things, but it's not too big of a deal anymore. There is a push and cut, so we are going to make sure that there is no Aji here as best we can, and then we just play more big moves. Probably done over here then. Still an annoying shape, but I think it's all connected now, so we're all good. Not worried about the points there, just worried about the shape itself. And this one, I don't want to Hane because I could throw in and then block. If I ever connect, I have the 2 cutting points. So I'm going to play it this way. Get rid of that possibility. Oh, he just connected. Okay. Should we go over here? Why not, I guess? That's all it is, just a why not. Sort of like a 2-point move, so why not? Yeah, you got to push here, which is really annoying. So I do it this way. Yeah, this way is probably fine. Then we just go here. He just has the one little Atari in here. But we got to connect up nicely here, which I was wanting to do. I will connect because if they Atari, I don't want it to go up the stone because there is possibility of this thing, if they Atari and go down, of that being a problem. So I just want to get rid of that completely. As I said, we're often focused on making sure that stuff doesn't work, basically. This should be okay overall. I'll just, very simple second line moves now. We'll just do the Hanes. It's okay. I don't know if we should do that unless he's going to connect. Okay, he's connecting. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was the right idea unless they were going to connect right away. This one is just like a 1-point, sort of 2-point sort of move thing. Okay, so we'll go over here. Why not? Similar to playing the Hane here, it looks like. So there's a Ko if he wants to do a Ko. Oh, they're going to start the Ko. All right, I will capture. It's our first capture of the game. Didn't know that until just now. We're not worried about winning the Ko. We were just playing normal big moves, so not worried about that at all. Should I do it this way? Just connect solidly is better. Yeah, let's connect solidly. He still owes a move, so he can't ever push in through here. So we'll Atari for fun, just because we can. Which is the way that seems to give the least amount of stuff. Let's just do this one, I guess. They can still push and push, but we at least get a couple points here. Yeah, we'll capture. There is nothing over here. That's why I did the move in here, because we have this extra ice shape here. So there's nothing that can happen. This is something I'm always thinking about the future as best I can. That's why my style is sometimes a little bit hard to follow. Because if you're not thinking about all the possibilities that could potentially happen, it's not every possibility, but a lot of possibilities that could potentially happen. Like, oh, if they do that, I have to worry about this, right? As long as you're focused on that enough, you're good to go. I think this is basically just the last move here. So we'll just connect and that'll be good enough. And probably connect this one to make sure there's no like throw in and that technically gets rid of a point. And they can probably pass now. Is Japanese counting? So I don't think we need all the extra moves on the board. They could fill in the ko, I guess, but probably fine. All right, they passed. I'll pass as well. I think that's basically everything. So should be score now. Yep, everything's looking good. There we go. We won by 23.5 points. So you can actually see that on the screen. There we go. So interestingly, it was actually kind of similar to how they play in some other games as well. You run into some people that are just very, very passive here. I don't really actually want to even review this game because I feel like I talked enough about this game overall, because after this, it's already sort of too slow for white to keep going because they didn't get a base here. So I guess this is the only thing that should really be mentioned, is that when you're in your opponent's area like this, you don't just connect and become a stick. In this particular case, you can Hane at Q2. If I block, which I usually should, then you can make at least a 2-space base here. Even if I capture that stone, you're able to run away very quickly. It's not about having a solid base that makes you 100% alive. It's just about having the flexibility to make sure your group is safe. So as long as you have that, you're good to go. I'm gonna drop my challenges here. But in the game, they just were a stick that needed to run away. So it's not the right way to handle this sort of situation. And then with the weak stick on the board, they got a bunch of influence, tried to make a large Moyo, but I can just run the stick towards the Moyo and then we are okay. That was really the story of the game. Good thing to remember, flexibility when you're in your opponent's area. If you already have a weak group, you shouldn't try to make a Moyo unless your weak group is now settled, which then it's not a weak group. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys are having a good day and have fun.